What's going on, Code Squad? Today we're going to create our profile UI, and we're also going to learn how to create a cover photo image and to also add custom components such as a profile card component and an about card component. It also helps keep our code a little bit more organized as well, so let's get to it, Code Squad. Alright, Code Squad, let's go ahead and build the profile UI. So the first thing that we want to do is to add a scroll view. So let's come up, add the scroll view, and then we want to add something called Touchable without feedback, and that's essentially the same thing as touchable opacity, but you will not receive feedback when you press the button, so you won't get like a visual effect. So let's go ahead and add those. So we have the scroll view, and then we can close that out. And then behind that we have the, actually we don't close it like so, we close it like that, scroll view. Then we add another view, and we're going to give it a style equal to styles dot, we just call it second container view. Then we add the touchable without feedback inside of this. And then inside this touchable without feedback, we add our image. And that can actually enclose itself. And we're going to give the image a style equal to styles dot cover photo, and a source equal to we have to define that source. So we can say I have my photo on my desktop right here, and I can drop it in my assets folder, and I have to copy this name. Well, it won't let me copy it, so I'll just write it. So we have to say import, I'll just say cover photo from we can say out of that, then we can say config global, no, not config, we're supposed to go to assets, and then we say calvingram2.jpg. Alright, so we can say that that should equal our source. And let's get the alignment correct. It says image is not defined, so we have to add that as well. Image. And it says source, right? We're supposed to call this source our cover photo. So let's add some styles and see how this looks. So we added the second container view style. So let's see what we should define with it. So we want to say second container view And we could say we want our align items to be center. And we also added the cover photo style. And we could say we want the width to be the full screen width, and we want the height to be width times 9/16. And I believe that's just the golden ratio to keep our image looking proportional. And let's see how that looks. All right, we have our first error, says profile.js, none of these files exist. All right, so quick note, I rechanged the cover photo name. But now it's working. However, the width is still incorrect. I accidentally put a plus sign. It's supposed to be a multiply sign. So let's see how that turns out. All right, that's a little bit more proportional. And now, so if you press it, it's a button that still has a function, but it's without feedback, so you don't get like the visible effect when you press it. So now let's build out a component profile image, a component profile card. So this would be a custom component. So let's say, let's put it right here. We're going to say component profile card, and it's going to have a parameter of an image URL and a business name. So we can close that out. It's saying that it's not defined, so we have to create it. We can comment those out for now, but we're going to import it from, and it's going to be within the same folder. And I'm gonna just make sure I don't spell that incorrectly. Just copy that, and we're going to import component profile card from component profile card. So let's build that. That's in the same folder, so it's going to be in our same profile folder. New file .js, and we can build it out from here. So we're going to say import React from React. We're going to import a view, image, text, and we're going to leave it at that for now. From React Native. Now we're going to say import prop types from prop types, and import styles from styles. We're going to say constant component profile card equals, going to input our parameters. We give it a parameter of image URL, and we also stated business name. I believe those are the only two that we provided for now. So now we're going to say give it a view, and that view It's going to have a style. It's going to be styles dot, we'll just say profile container view. And it's going to have touchable without feedback. And we have to add that. We forgot to add that. And inside that touchable without feedback is going to be an image. So we could say image, and the image source, let's close that out. And this is not supposed to be a bracket, it's supposed to be a parentheses. I make that mistake quite often. I'm going to say source equals image URL and style equals to styles dot profile photo. And now we're going to missing semicolon, space, and we want to add our text for. All right, so it's 4:23, and you could probably hear the birds starting to wake up and start chirping. So if you hear them, you know, just don't worry about it. Just know that that's the time that they start to wake up here. All right, so we have text, and that text is going to be our business name. So let's add these styles that we defined. So we're going to say profile container view. Going to say, let's see. We're going to give it a width called container width, and let's define that width really quickly. We're going to say constant container width equals width times 0.9. So that is 90% of our total width. Also, we're going to say a line item censor justify content censor height equals to, let's just say a height times 0.2. Let's say background color, give it a white, and margin top, let's give it something called space between cards. And we have to define that, of course. And that's going to be 20 pixels. Also, we have, yeah, let's see how that looks. So now we got to add the style for the profile photo. We want to say width 60, height 60, and a border radius of 30. So that's going to give us a circle. Because the width and the height are the same and the border radius is half of those, so that will give us a circle. So let's see what that looks like. Profile, you forgot to export. All right, let's check this out. We exported the profile, we exported styles. We did not export component profile card. So let's see if that was the issue. Component profile card. All right, so you can kind of see a white card, stack card right here. And you do not see our profile photo because we did not add it yet. So let's go into our assets folder. That's reveal in Finder. And let's drop our, I have my photo on my desktop. I'm gonna just drop it over here in my assets folder. So now it's here. And now what I'm gonna do is import, I'm gonna just say profile photo from, let's see, bounce out of that, bounce out of that, bounce out of that, assets, and then profile photo.png, and we said component profile card. Let's bring it over here so we can see it. We gave it an image URL, which is basically our source, and we also have business name for our parameters. So image URL, which is like our source, could be our profile photo, and just to make things a little bit more clear, so image URL acts as our source because we defined it as our source right here. So source equals image URL. So whenever we call image URL from our component profile card, it's similar to saying source. So I hope that made sense and was not just confusing. If it is, we'll get used to it over time. So we save that and we reload it, and we'll see how that looks. So we have our profile card right here, and now our business name, we'll just say your favorite videographer. And we have to rerun that. So that's showing up now. And we can also provide a few more styles to this. So let's make our profile card kind of stand out a bit. And to do that for iOS, we have to say shadow opacity. I spelled that bad boy wrong. Shadow opacity, that's better. 0.75. Shadow radius, 5. Shadow color, and let's see, shadow color is RGB. Let's actually create a constant because we might use this quite often. Let's just say card shadow color, and I'm using my, no, I don't need that. So constant shadow color, card shadow color equals RGB 165, 165, 165. And now we say shadow offset. And we say a height 0, width 0. And now let's check that out. So you can kind of see now our we called it component profile card. It kind of sticks out in front as if it had, like, if it was coming out closer to us a little bit better. So it gives a little shadow behind there. And I don't believe those settings work for Android, but I think that if you just say elevation 1 on Android, it should be pretty similar, but we don't need that for iOS. And also, let's add a style to our text. So that would be, let's see, where's our text at? Component profile card. It has a style. Let's give a style to this text. Style equals styles dot, we'll call it profile card title text, and we'll define that in our styles right here. And we'll say font size 18, margin top to push it down a little bit, 8, text align, center, color, black, and margin horizontal. I'm not sure if we need that, so let's see what it looks like without it. Don't know what just happened. Let's see, run that, and it looks decent. I don't think we need that. All right, so now let's add our about card. So we're gonna go into our profile, and let's say right below our component profile card, we'll add our, we call it component about card. Component about card. So we'll also import it here. And of course, we have to create it. And let's see, so we're going to have a property of the business bio, and also the that's it for now. So we can use that there, component about card, And let's go ahead and create this. So we say import React from React, import. We're going to have a view text and let's leave it like that for now. So, okay, we have to also import prop types from prop types and import styles from styles. And we're going to create the component about card. So constant component about card equals define our parameters, which I believe we only called business bio for now. So business bio, then we could say view style equals styles dot, we're going to say about container view. And we're going to close that. And we can add a text. The text will say about, and it's going to have a style. We can just call it about text. And under this text, we'll have another text. And we can give it a style of business bio text. And it's going to have our business bio parameter. So let's define these styles. About text, put our comma there, and we have the about text, which will say font size of 20 and a margin vertical of 8. And to add an underline, we could say text declaration line, and we could say underline. Add our comma, and one more style we have to add is business bio text. And we have text align center because we want our alignment to be in the center. We could have font size 18, color black, margin vertical, and margin horizontal 8. We could also make this color black, but like I said, the default color for iOS is black, so it's not as critical. But if you are working for Android, the default color is not, well, in the past it wasn't black. I don't know if it's been updated, but you would have to update that. So let's see what we get. Unexpected token in our about component about card. So first off the bat, I see that I spelled from incorrectly. And let's see, it says import. Okay, so also here, I didn't say from React Native. And I didn't use that prop type. I think I always make that mistake. That's supposed to be parentheses, I believe. Let's export this, export default component about card. I didn't use my prop types. So let's say component about card dot prop types equals business bio prop types dot, that's a string. Same thing for business bio text, prop types dot string. What's wrong with this export default? All right, so style equals styles dot business bio text, business bio. Wrote that wrong, like so. That looks better. Okay, we didn't give a style to our about container view. We can add that, but also I don't think I added my prop types here neither for the component profile card. So let's do that. Prop types equals, let's say image URL prop types dot, I think it's a string. If it's not, we'll update it. Business name is definitely a string. And we said that we didn't give this style about container view style. So let's add that. And that should be, let's see, a width, container width, align items, center. You can say justify content, center, background color white, margin top, space between cards, shadow opacity. All these are going to be the same as our previous. It says failed prop type invalid. Okay, image URL is of type number, but we gave it a string. So image URL is right here. It's saying that it wants to be called number. All right, so that worked. And we also can now define our, under our profile, we can give our business bio. We could say something like, need a video shoot we just say, feel free to hit me up. And that's here. It showed up right here as, yeah, that works. All right, so now we can just add the, so I know that you see services, a services container and also an add service button container, but I'm actually going to update this currently because the services, the container that shows the services doesn't really serve its purpose. So we're going to combine that icon and put it in our add service section. So let's do that right now. So let's just add a component and call it component list item button, and it's gonna have a unpress parameter. So whenever we press it, we want to do something. And let's see, let's give it another parameter called, just call it text. And let's close that out and create it. So new file, component list item button.js, import it here, import from there. Now we can come here and build it. We want to say import React from React. We can say import view text touchable without feedback. And we can say from React Native. We can say import, that's one word, touchable without feedback. Import prop types from prop types. Import styles from styles. Constant component list item button equals text and unpress. Big fat arrow function, parentheses this time. Yeah, I got it right. I didn't put the brackets. All right, so touchable without feedback. So like I said, we're gonna call this this is gonna be a button for us. So we have to put it inside the touchable without feedback. It's gonna have an unpress parameter. So whenever we run unpress, we want a function to be called. Close that out. And let's add the closing tag for that, touchable without feedback. Also, we're going to add a let's say we have to add a view. We'll say style equals styles dot list item button container view. List item button container view. And also add an icon. And let's see this right there. Inside this view, we're going to have, let's get our alignment correct. All right, never mind, let's just keep on going. Icon, and also we're going to have a text under that icon. That text is going to have our text parameter. And yeah, let's go ahead and fix this alignment because things are getting out of hand. Too many red lines. It gets confusing. So bring that up, bring that over, bring that over. What's it saying right here? Trailing spaces not allowed. So delete all the trailing spaces. This we have to export default. This might want a comma. There's semicolon. Export default. Component list item button. We also have to use prop types. Component list item button dot prop types equals, what do we have? Text property. That's going to be prop types dot string. We also have onPress. It's going to have prop types dot function. And I think we're in there now. All right. Cool. So of course we have to import this icon. I put it in React Native. That's not correct. It should be import icon from React Native vector icons. And give me a minute, let me find out where that's from. So that's actually from material icons this time. Material icons. And for this icon, we'll say name equals, let's just give it a property name. So we'll say icon name, and this name will just be icon name. We can give it a size equal to 25, and color equal to black. Let's just say constant icon size equals to, we said there's 25. You don't have to create a constant. I just do it out of preference. So you can do that, or you can keep it like it was. They both work. And so component list item button. So we also added we called it icon name parameter. It wants it in our properties as well. So that's going to be prop types dot string. And we can define it right here. Icon name equals, let me see what it's called. It's called assignment. Assignment. So like always, you can go into the React Native vector icons, material icons, and see what the different names of the icons are called. And for our text, we're going to say plus add service. And we're not really going to worry about what the function does currently. We'll get with that later. But let's see. I don't think we added the styles yet, so it might not show up correctly. Yeah, we didn't. But here it is. And component list item button. So we have the list item button container view. We can drop that right there, and we can give it the parameter, the styles, container width, height equals height times 0.1, so 10% of the total height. Justify content, center, align items, center, background color, white, and border radius 4, margin bottom, space between cards, and then the shadow opacity, shadow radius, shadow color, and shadow offset. Also, we don't have a style yet for our text, so we'll just say style equals styles dot list item button text. Close that out, and we'll bring that right here. And font size 18, color black. And let's see what we have. That looks okay. So one thing I noticed is that our spacing right here is off. We added margin bottom. Let's see if we add margin vertical. See what that looks like. It's okay, but it's not giving us spacing on the bottom for some reason. And let's also add spacing between our add service text and our button right here, our icon. So we could just say for our text, list item button text, we can just give it a margin top of, let's say, 8 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. That's a little bit more spacing, so it's a little bit better. And so our scroll view isn't really scrolling to the bottom, or it's not scrolling at all, it's just bouncing. So what I did was a quick Google search. I said React Native scroll view not scrolling to bottom. Clicked on this one, I believe. No, it's the next one. And scrolled. And Multi-Azu on April 6, 2017 said that the scroll view itself must be bound. The scroll view has unbounded height, it will stretch. Just kept on going. And I saw Christopher R. He said, try taking flex out of the scroll view. Our scroll view, it doesn't have any properties or anything, so the flex is already out of there for us. And he said, and just put flex 1 on the parent, and that did the trick for him. So our parent view, here's our scroll view. In our parent view, the one that's on the top layer is our main container view. We have a defined height and width for that. I thought that that would work, but apparently not. So if we just comment that out, and he said just put flex 1, and we can rerun that. And now you can see that it has like the sidebar scrolling up and down, and it goes all the way to the bottom. So there you go, Code Squad.